it with music, beautiful music. Hello, I'm Fred Miller, and this is yet another one of my lectures in song. And before we talk about the inimitable Mr. Noel Coward, a little bit about me. I was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, loved classical music, had a great classical piano teacher, loved Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms, and even all the stories about them, their biographies and so on. Grand opera I loved as well. That would go on until exactly on my 13th birthday. Literally the day I turned into a teenager, the Beatles arrived in America, and now classical music had to compete with the top 40. I was into all of that kind of music, the great rock songs of the 60s, throughout my teen years, throughout high school. And in the summer after I graduated, a friend showed me this article in the paper. Actually, it was the New York Times. His parents took the New York Times. Remember, this is out in New Mexico. Showed me this article about this big rock festival taking place in upstate New York. And we looked at that lineup and we thought, oh my gosh, we've got to go. I mean, it's just too good to pass up. So the two of us up for an adventure, hitchhiked most of the way from New Mexico to the Woodstock Festival. I'm even in the poster. I'm a very skinny version of me. That's really me. But that was it for rock music. I wasn't interested in being a rock musician. I didn't really think I could be a classical musician. I wanted to be a musician. I didn't even know what that would be. But somehow or the other, I went to college very briefly, left and traveled around the country in my VW bug, and finally ended up in Greenwich Village. And somebody at some point gave me an album of Ella Fitzgerald singing Cole Porter, and that was it. The world of Gershwin, Porter, Kern, Rogers, Berlin, Fred Astaire, Judy Garland, Ethel Merman, Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, what they call the Great American Songbook. And that would be my music. That is my music. And I came up with the idea of a lecture in song, each one being a profile of a great personality or some aspect of American popular song. I started initially with just the songwriters and the performers, and I thought they'd maybe have 10 programs, but then it just eventually over the years expanded to 7 categories and 75 to date lectures in song, each one described in detail at fredmillermusic.com. This program is distinctive in a number of ways. I mean, the man himself was quite distinctive, Noel Coward. For starters, he was not American. I think he was about the only one of these great personalities I deal with who was not American-born, or at least, considered an American during his lifetime. He was consummately British. He was also immensely talented, multi-talented, a lyricist, a composer, an actor, a director, a novelist, a playwright, and an absolutely unique, self-consciously created original personality and star. I mean, his only American counterpart is Cole Porter, certainly. I mean, who had many personal racy facets to him, as Noel Coward certainly did, and a combustible combination of propriety superimposed on outrageous Britishness, whatever that would be, unique. So let's start with consummate Noel Coward here, a saga of the empire subverted by base instincts. My family has traditions, I've heard them 1,000 times. My relatives are not excessively bright. They love to go out on missions to rather peculiar climes and lead the wretched heathen to the light. They frequently get beaten up in course of these rampages. My great-aunt Maud was eaten up while singing Rock of Ages. These family expeditions admittedly are a bore, but there is just one uncle that I positively adore. Poor Uncle Harry wanted to be a missionary, so he took a ship and sailed away. This visionary, hotly pursued by dear Aunt Mary, found a South Sea island which to stay. The natives treated them kindly and invited them to dine on yams and clams and human hams and vintage coconut wine, the taste of which was filthy, but the after effects divine.